And we are live again. So Heather Duvall-Cox, thank you so very much for joining me. I'm so glad that John from Garage Gym Media hooked this up. But this is kind of our second go around. We did one and we kind of got disconnected. So if you don't mind, you could just give us a quick version of who you are, how you got involved in fitness, and why you started Sandbag Queen, and we'll just take it from there.
Absolutely.
Sure.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
So, my name is Heaven, and I am the owner of the Sandbag Queen, and I have 4 children, and I don't mind starting over at all because that was just like a practice round. I actually did a lot of commercial acting and stuff like that, so I'm really used to having to do like 10 takes of the same thing.
Well,
so
I can promise you, by the time we get to like the 3rd or 4th try, I'm gonna let you go. So it's
so it's all good. Yeah. But I started my fitness journey about 9 years ago. So we were inching in on that 10-year mark of health and fitness and wellness, and it started with group fitness. So when I just had my 3rd baby, I was approached by the gym owner at where I lived, and she asked me if I wanted to do group fitness classes. And I had never been to a gym before, like one time, and I didn't really get anything from it. So I was like, oh, okay, like why not, I guess. So I started teaching group fitness, and it was as I said before, it was weird going into a gym. It was just like awkward. And after a little bit, I got used to my gym, my group fitness room. So that part was fine. And I was really comfortable there. But I was not comfortable in the weight section or with lifting, because my group fitness class was not lifting. It was MMA style group fitness. So it was a lot of boxing and kickboxing and stuff.
A lot of moving, a little cardio, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It was so fun, and it drew me in. So, but what I loved, what really, really got me was being part of somebody else's fitness journey. So, after a couple of years of teaching group fitness, and I fell in love with it, and I fell in love with being able to push myself and being able to reach new limits, and then that transformed into being able to help other people, and how can I motivate other people to have this same feeling that I have. And I think a lot of personal trainers and group fitness instructors and people in this world will agree that that's really what drives us, is we've experienced something that is so amazing for ourselves that we just want other people to experience that. Like, what can we do to help other people get that rush or that feeling or that accomplishment that we felt? And so that's what really drove me. And I ended up becoming a personal trainer. And then I went on to do online coaching, because as much as I love personal training, what I ran into a lot with clients was that they didn't realize that there was more depth to losing weight than just losing weight. Like, they just want to lose the weight, and you're telling you have to like help them understand that there's more to it than just dropping pounds. If you want to keep it off, you have to create a lifestyle that allows you to keep it off. And so that's what really like pushed me into that, the online coaching and the real, like the deep work of fitness and health and wellness and all of that. So that's kind of where I landed with the Sandbag Queen. And I use the Sandbag as a tool, I guess you could say, to help draw people into the fitness life and kind of help them understand that fitness should be functional. It should be fun. It should be everyday life. It should be something that's not cumbersome to you and to your life. Because if it is, you're not going to do it. So I love the Sandbag for that reason. And that's where I am now, just growing the Sandbag Queen, the platform and the content, and of course the sandbags, which you can buy on my site. So that's about it.
No, that's awesome.
In a nutshell.
Right? That's your life's work in 5 minutes. No, but so I also had a fairly similar kind of experience with you. Not so much having kids, but But, when I was personal training and stuff, a big thing that I found frustrating was I found that my clients expected me to be a miracle worker. And it was, I come in here 3 times a week. Like, why am I not losing weight? Well, it's just like, well, that's 2 or 3 hours over the course of a week is nothing. What are you doing with the rest of that time? I mean, like, I can only do so much. If you don't mind, and we can go into as much depth as you want to, but so when you started moving over from the actual personal training to the online platform, now do you get a little bit more involved in like nutritional coaching and the other stuff? Because you talked about expanding and talking to your clients that it's not just the training and it's not just the losing the weight, it's a lifestyle and it's something that you commit to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm not certified as a nutritionist, so I do not give nutrition plans or like any sort of anything that they do. However, what I do as far as nutrition is concerned is I ask them to ask themselves questions about what they're eating. So I'll say something like, when you eat this food, how does it make you feel? And you need to ask yourself, how do I feel when I eat this food? Do I feel energized? Do I feel lethargic? Do I feel like I'm brain fog now? Does my stomach hurt? What are some of the basic things? And a lot of people ignore those. They ignore that their stomach hurts. And your body is telling you not to eat that. It's like rejecting it, and you're just eating it anyways. Chili cheese fries don't like you. Don't eat them. So,
but they're delicious.
You just have to be. They are, but they don't always like you.
Yeah.
So I would encourage people, and if you're watching this, I encourage you to ask the same exact thing. When I'm eating something, how is my body responding to it? Because our body is telling us if something is helping us or harming us. So when it comes to our food choices, we need to make choices that are going to help us most of the time, and then occasionally, have a donut or have a cookie, whatever. But understand that it's a choice that you're making. And so many times, the clients that I would see are they're not in control. The food is controlling them, so they feel like they just. I can't help it. I can't help it. I would hear that all the time. I just can't help it. I'm like,
it becomes like a crutch, right? Almost like a comfort or a crutch to, I'm upset, let me eat something. Oh, I'm happy, let me eat something. Oh, I'm bored, let me eat something.
And that is something that I do cover. And I'm creating a course. I'm creating an online course. I talked to John about it in the interview I did with him. So you can, if you have watched that, I don't know, but it's on there now on YouTube. And so I'm creating a course for specifically for moms, where I cover in about 10 to 12 weeks worth of coursework, where we cover nutrition, we cover, and this is all very basic stuff, so macro breakdowns and like what your body is telling you when you eat certain foods. If you have a lot of skin issues, your body is telling you you're eating something that it doesn't like. And I know because I used to have eczema, and I also have a gluten intolerance, which doctors could not identify. I had to identify it all by myself. Yeah, it's so lovely. I went on all the steroids, all the cream, you name it. I tried it. It didn't get rid of it. I stopped eating gluten, and everything was better. So, just listening to your body, it'll cover sleep, it'll cover recovery days, just like hormones, so many things that women face that they might not even know that they need to address. So I'm working on that, and I honestly don't know where I was going with that.
No, I think that's going to happen, and it's perfectly okay, because that's why I like this whole free form kind of thing, is we kind of go off on tangents here and there. We probably cover stuff that we would never do ever again, but that's perfect. No. I'm glad that you kind of touched on that stuff, because myself as well, like, I am not a nutritionist. I'm not like certified. I don't have a degree or anything, but I have taken nutrition classes. When I got my degree in college and blah blah blah. And believe it or not, one of the taking nutrition classes and breaking down like the molecules and the science behind it, what really actually hit me the most was when one of my professors told me, in like the simplest terms, he goes, the food that you eat. Essentially, he said, you are what you eat, which we've all heard, right?
Yeah.
We've all heard that. And I think people don't necessarily think about it. It's a catchy little thing to say. Oh, you are what you eat. You know, if you eat crap, you're going to feel like crap, blah, blah, blah. But when you actually think about it, and what my professor said is when you eat food, it literally breaks down and your body uses that to rebuild cells because your body is constantly killing off, getting rid of, and rebuilding new cells.
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather build your body out of, you know, good proteins, vegetables, fruits, or, you know, cheeseburgers and Twinkies? And like when he put it like that, like it's like everyone knows this. It wasn't anything groundbreaking, but when he put it like that, I was just like, oh yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. And I don't think, like you said, like people don't necessarily take the time to think about what they're putting in their bodies and the effect that it has on them. Like you said, you have this singular experience of like the food that you were eating was causing your body to react to the point where you were diagnosed with a skin condition. You know, that's a more extreme case, but other people, you know, maybe they just get bloated or they have digestional stress or whatever.
Right. Well, yeah, and I had all of those things too.
Oh, okay.
I had all the symptoms.
Okay.
It was not, it was a wide variety of issues, hair loss and thyroid, sluggish thyroid. So my thyroid wasn't producing T4 or T3, so that turns to T4. It was a long journey.
Okay,
so I guess that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I probably should just get my certification so I could actually give people stuff. But
all in due time, right?
I have my story. Yeah, and I probably will actually. But anyways, so I was saying all of that to say that when I would work with people, the reason that I went into that the more depth of, instead of just, hey, here's your workout plan, is because they would say that same thing, like, why am I not losing weight? Well, there's a whole other list of things you need to be doing if you want to lose weight. And if you want to keep it off, you have to stop stress eating, and you have to stop eating because you're depressed or you're bored, or, you know, you have to choose working out instead of sitting on the couch, like without somebody else there to tell you to do it. You know, you have to be able to, like, for a time, it's fine to have that accountability partner and that person that helps motivate you. But at some point, you have to be the one that gets your butt off the couch and does the work. Yeah,
because you're not necessarily going to have that forever.
Have somebody. Right, exactly. You have to be that person for yourself, or you will just gain it all back. And that's the harsh reality of it. So that's what really drove me to get deeper into the coaching and the mental aspect, because I've dealt with a lot, and I'm very open about this on my profile page and all this stuff, but I've dealt with a lot of depression and anxiety in my lifetime. And so I know what that's like. And I want to be able to help people to have the tools they need to get out of those times, or at the very least to push through those times until they can get to another season in life.
Absolutely.
So
and it's always great to hear from someone who, you know, has the experience, because it's one thing to hear from someone, you know, even if they have even if they're a doctor or an MD, or they've got the letters in front of their name, if they've never experienced it, like it's different. Yes, they have the knowledge, but you know, having someone who has firsthand experience, that goes a long way. And it's a shame that it's so overlooked, that like having regular exercise and eating good food can do a lot for people's mental health.
Oh, so much.
It's and not to get, you know, I'm all for doctors and MDs. Like I'm not here to like trash the American medical system. But but that being said, it's a problem I have noticed, and it's not everyone, obviously, but the American health system assumes that you have a drug deficiency. So it's not, oh, like you have mental health, you know, you have mental health issues. Well, how can we go about putting you in a better situation? Like, are you exercising regularly? Are you eating proper foods? Are you getting enough sleep? It's, oh, well, here's a drug that'll boost your serotonin. It's just so every issue that you have, whether it be mental health or digestive or whatever, when you said you had the eczema, right? They put you on the creams. They just assumed you had this drug deficiency, as opposed to, oh, you're eating something and your body's not reacting properly to it.
Right.
And you know, it seems simple, but you know, it's very often overlooked. And just to touch on something that you were talking about before, when it came to, you know, the clients and, you know, expanding into the nutritional aspects and, you know, what are you doing like the rest of the time that you're not at the gym? Because I think, I had said that, like, you know, I had that conversation multiple times with different people. It's just like, I see you 3 hours a week. Like the rest is up to you. And you know, it's a cliche saying, and people have heard it over and over. But you can't out-train a bad diet.
No, it's true. Yeah.
And it is true. Like, I could work out for 2 hours a day, busting my butt, you know, in my garage, and if I walk upstairs and eat an entire pizza and wash it down with a Coke and, you know, sit on the couch the rest of the day, I just undid basically everything that I did. So there's a lot that goes into that lifestyle
properly.
And that too, like giving yourself proper foods again. And you said it too. You said that you know, people, I forget the exact words that you said, but people rely on food. They stress eat, they happy eat, they binge eat. Basically, every emotion that we feel as humans revolves around eating. And we should start. You put yourself in a better position when you start thinking of food as fuel and as a tool, as opposed to a hobby.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I like how you said that.
So
a lot of people do think of it as a hobby.
Yeah, and look, hey, I'm Italian. I love pasta. Pizza's my favorite food. You know, so I love to eat. I get it. But even look, I was not perfect. So comparatively to you, you said you've been kind of going on this experience for 9, almost 10 years now. I grew up as an athlete. So when I was younger, I could basically eat whatever I wanted and kind of got away with it because I was literally always moving and doing whatever. And then it wasn't until, you know, after college and, you know, now I had to work out on my own because I wasn't being told to go to the gym and I didn't have practices and I didn't have games. I started gaining weight and I was just like, well, what the hell's happening? Like, because this has never happened to me before. And I got a little trapped into the gain a little weight, then lose a little weight, then gain a little weight. And that roller coaster kind of effect it's exhausting. And I think a lot of people get tired of it. And I think a lot of people end up quitting. And they just kind of, well, this is just what I am. And they just kind of go along that route. But yeah, so look, I never want people to think that I'm preaching this thing that has been so easy for me, and it's you just stop eating and you work out all the time. It's easy, blah, blah. Like I get it. It's not, and I'll be the first to tell you. Like I'll wake up. So you know absolutely nothing about me, so I'll give you a little background.
I'm excited to learn more about you.
my daily life. So I'm actually a physical education teacher.
Awesome.
I thank you. I have a job at a school that's about an hour away, so I knew that I was not going to, you know, teach a full day at school, drive an hour home, and then work out. I knew that was not going to happen because I was going to be exhausted. So I'm the psycho who gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you know, works out beforehand and, you know, do all that and then go to work. So look, I will be the first person to tell you that I have days where I just don't want to do it. And there are days where I skipped. Like it's okay. It's allowed. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be pretty good most of the time. And you have to find, I think you said it before, you have to find what works for you, right? You were talking about like different training programs and, you know, not everyone wants to be a power lifter and not everyone likes that group fitness atmosphere. There are a lot of people that do. I mean, there's that community and everyone's all for you and, you know, there's accountability there because, you know, Heaven misses a day and she gets called up. Heaven, oh, we missed you today. Like, where were you? Like, however, things change and you don't always have that support system. So it needs to end up falling on you, right? You're the only one who can make the decision to get in the car and go to the gym, or, you know, put on your sneakers and go for a jog, or pick up your sandbag and, you know, do some carries or whatever. At the end of the day, it is on you. So you need to find, you know, something that works for you. Like, and again, I love to use myself as an example because, you know, I'm not perfect. And I think people, you know, like to hear about people who have failed and figured out like a different way, or, you know, stumbled and then found something that works. So I've been, you know, lifting weights since I was in 7th grade. My parents got me my first like weight bench for Christmas when I was in 7th grade. And so what, you're 11, 12 and 7, whatever.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 11, 12? All right.
12? Yeah.
Now I'm 31. I have finally figured out like a training program and, you know, nutritional program that finally I am like pretty good with. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm pretty good like now. So that's, you know,
that's awesome.
What, 16
and that's
years?
What I would, and that's what I would tell my clients too, like try things. Yeah. And I'm sure I have posts on social media too that say the same thing. You don't know until you try, and try more than once, because the first time could be a total flop. You don't know, like you don't know what you don't know. So give it a shot and give it some time and see if after a couple of weeks or a couple of tries, you really hate it, you still really hate it, stop and do something else. There's a lot of ways to get activity in. Yeah. And there are so many other, there's a lot of, I don't want to say diets. I hate the word diet.
Oh, me too.
There are a lot
wait. Why do you hate the word diet? Because I'll tell you why I hate the word diet too.
I hate the word diet because there's so much negativity that surrounds the diet, the term, what has been marketed as diet, when diet, the word means what you eat. Your diet is just what you eat. And
it's your diet.
Marketing, everybody has a diet that they're on. It's what you eat. So I just don't like the word. So
you don't like the extra baggage that kind of comes along with it, right?
Yeah. Same with like toning your muscles. I don't like that one either.
So the reason why I don't like the word diet is just because it's right along the same lines that you just said. It's just slightly different. Diet seems to me to have been pigeonholed into this little section where it has a beginning and it has an end. So like, I'm on this diet, or I'm on this diet. It's just like, no, this is just, so I try to use nutrition to just try to change the kind of the viewpoint of it. But yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct. Like nutrition and diet can, you know, be interchangeable. It's just talking about the food that you're eating. But yeah,
exactly.
So to me, I try to change. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no. I was just saying, I think it's important for people to experiment with their nutrition, you know, try different foods, try, you know, stepping outside the box a little bit, and, you know, see if something makes you feel energized. I'm not a vegetarian. I eat meat and I love it. But some people, their bodies might not tolerate meat. They might not feel good eating meat. So, you know, try it if that sounds appealing to you, and then you just do it healthy, you know, be healthy about it, because you can get deficiencies. I'm just going to throw that out there. So make sure you're doing it healthily. But, you know, try, if you have a lot of bloating, try not eating gluten, you know, or dairy. Dairy is another one that's hugely inflammatory for some people. Not everybody. Some people can eat dairy and they're A-okay, but others can't. So be really open and experiment with your nutrition, and that will help so much with the way that you approach your lifestyle. If you are one who is wanting to change your lifestyle for 2021 and you want to be better and all of that stuff, you have to start with an open mind and some experimenting and being willing to say, okay, I'm going to try this for a little bit and see how my body reacts. How am I feeling? Is this good for me? and then go from there. But that's always like, that's a starting point.
Yeah. And I usually recommend when you're making changes like that to start with like baby steps. Because if you try to like overhaul everything all at once, it gets very overwhelming very quickly.
It's overwhelming. It is. Absolutely.
Which is why I absolutely hate New Year's resolutioners and the New Year's resolutions and New Year, New Me and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to go to the gym. I haven't worked out since May, but I'm going to, go for 6 days a week and 2 hours a session.
I know.
And then by like mid-February, the gym's back to normal and it's empty again. So when you're making changes like this, you can't just overhaul everything at once because you're going to get burned out. It's going to be too much. And I can't say everyone, but most people will end up quitting because of it. Well, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. So when you're talking about, again, making dietary or nutritional changes, start with one thing at a time. For myself, again.
Just pick something.
Yeah. For myself, I'm 31. I would say this past August, July, and summer, I started dabbling in the intermittent fasting. Like I said, I'm a foodie. Not a foodie. I just like to eat. Okay, so so I never in a million years would have thought like, oh yeah, this is going to be for me. Like breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. So to me, it seemed very outlandish this was ever going to be a thing. But I was just like, you know what? Let me try something, and I did. Like now I just kind of consider it is I just get to have brunch every day. So like I stop eating. I stop eating at like 8 p.m. and then like my first like meal of the day will be like 11 or 12 or somewhere in between there. So I get a solid 15 to 16 hours of not eating. And to be honest, the first week I was kind of hungry in the morning, which was kind of normal. Since then, I honestly don't think I've ever actually felt hungry since then. Your body just kind of adjusts. And
that is so interesting you say that.
I never thought that was going to be the case. I never thought, and look, I'm not pushing this for anyone to try. It's something that I tried and I like it. And I'll probably end up doing it to the day I die.
I'm the same way. I intermittent fast regularly. And in fact, when I did the 75 hard program, I did it for 90 days and I intermittent fasted the entire time. So my eating window was from 10 to 6. Okay. And I have been doing intermittent fasting for about 2 years, 2.5 years ish, somewhere around there. Sure. And but that was on and off. And then after I went into the 75 hard program, I've been intermittent fasting since then. And hunger pains have never gone away from me. Every single morning, I wake up hungry. Yeah. But I've heard from so many people that they go away, and I've never once experienced it. So I literally make myself not eat. I'll chew gum or have some coffee or water, something that kind of just will like be in my mouth. Sure. But I am usually I'm usually ravenous by about 9 a.m. And then I just have a little bit more time. But sometimes I wake up starving. So I don't know, but I do love it.
I can't explain it.
It's a natural, it's a natural way for just kind of like, I love to eat too. I love food. So it's kind of like putting parameters around when I eat helps me not overeat on a regular basis, because I would overeat. I've been a stress eater in my past. I'm better now. It's a real
right there with you. Yeah.
So I've gotten better, but just having those parameters, those guidelines that really keep me in check, I find that it's really helpful. Just as an everyday life thing, I eat from this time to this time. If it's not in that time, I don't eat, and then I'm good.
No, I 100% agree, because I found that is actually what helped me, because I was always I was a big eater. Like I eat big meals, and I still do. Like now, like I said, I have kind of like brunch, usually a snack and dinner, and the brunch and snack are still no big size meals. I mean, again, you don't know me, but I'm 6'2", I'm 240 pounds. Like I eat a lot. So they're still normal large person kind of meals. But however, yes, having those time parameters kind of puts a cap on what I'm eating. I would be the first person to, if I'm staying up, to 8, 9, 10 o'clock, to maybe grab a snack or, have another beer or that kind of stuff, and which adds up, and you don't really count it usually, or you don't pay attention.
Yeah, no.
So now, if I I'm on the couch or whatever, or doing something, and I get up and it's like, oh nope, it's 8:01, can't do it. That's it. Yep. I'm done. So I've actually found it very helpful in that sense.
It is helpful. I will throw out because I don't know who all will be watching this. I do want to throw this. Assume everybody. If you're a woman watching this and you have experienced any sort of eating disorder in your past, do not attempt IF. It is not for you. It is not healthy for you. Talk to your doctor before even considering doing intermittent fasting. So
yeah, actually,
just to throw that out there.
Very, very wise. Yes. Obviously, the reason why we're talking and doing all this is to try to help people be their healthiest self. We don't want to, send anyone down a path that might not be a healthier choice for them. So
yeah.
Thank you. Obviously, that's something that I honestly didn't even think of. So thank you so much for bringing it up, because I think
typically won't. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people might skip over that and not even necessarily associate it. But yeah, that's 100% something that you need to be concerned of in the sense for health, safety, and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So I have to ask, why sandbags? And I'm not judging, because I actually have a sandbag in my garage that I absolutely love. I am such a big proponent of I think that weighted carries and stuff are such a great thing for just everyone in general.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, again, it's such a very overlooked form of exercise. Everyone wants to grab a weight or a machine and move some stuff around and stuff, but just carrying something from point A to point B and turning around and doing it again, and then turning around and doing it again can be very beneficial. And I think it's awesome, because not only are you building full body strength, but you're also teaching your body to move, to balance, to work under stress. Yeah. So I'm just curious, why did you go into sandbags?
So those reasons, all those things that you named, are probably the main reasons why. Because and I did just tell the story, but I'll tell it again. Not on here, on the other interview.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I fell in love with it when I was getting ready for a Spartan race about a year and a half ago. About a year and a half ago or so, my husband and I were getting ready for our first Spartan race, and we didn't have access to anything that would really help us prepare for that kind of obstacle course stuff. And so, we were lifting at that time, of course, and we were pretty strong and athletic, but I wanted something that would help me. And so we got a sandbag. Well, we did some research, and then we got a sandbag, and we just started training with it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I did the race, and it really helped. I did awesome on the race. I felt really good and really strong, and I loved it so much. When I got home, I was training with it one day, and I was just doing regular exercises. So I wasn't doing like the fun functional stuff you can do with it. I was just doing like hip bridges and single leg deadlifts and things that I used to do with a barbell or dumbbell. And so I was laying there one day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this thing so much. I want to be the sandbag queen. And so I got my phone out, and I started looking up, is there a sandbag queen? Is there an account? Is this even open? Is this an option? So I started looking, and there wasn't anything. In fact, the market for sandbags is still pretty slim. There's a couple big hitters, like Brute Force and some other ones that promote the sandbag. But for people like myself, for just moms, stay-at-home moms, and people in my space, it's not that. It's group fitness, weights if you're brave, and at-home workouts.
Yeah.
Like, that is what it is for us. And I was like, well, that's not cool. The sandbag is amazing. We need to be using this. Number one, it's affordable. It's convenient to just have a bag of sand anywhere. Like, it doesn't take up a bunch of space. And the best part is that it's just like having a small child that is wiggly and moving, and like, it literally replicates your everyday life.
It's very
Why
practical.
wouldn't you train with this thing? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I just kind of started rolling with it, and I talked to my husband. I'm like, what do you think about this? I really love this, and I'm already in the health and fitness space. It's already part of who I am. So I think I could go with this. And initially I was just going to like put out some motivational stuff or workouts or things that kind of go along with the fitness space, and maybe try to get on board with Brute Force or something, that a company that was already putting out equipment.
Sure.
And I don't know, something flipped in my head, or switch flipped, and I was like, why wouldn't I just make my own bags? Like, it can't be.
Oh no. Evan, are you there? Did your phone die? Oh. Well, I suppose that's how it's going to end. Folks, Heaven, thank you for joining us. Hopefully we'll get you back on here, and I'm going to text you in about 30 seconds. So goodbye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and check out Heaven Duvall on Instagram, Sandbag Queen. Yeah, she's great. Thank you very much.